Good morning, friends. Come sing a song with me, will you? Let's rise, hymn number 346. Come sing a song with me. If you're joining us online, the lyrics, as usual, are posted in the chat.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. Thank you for joining us today. You are welcome here just as you are. Whatever belief sustains you, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identity, and in all the ways that you are becoming the person that you will be. In this, our beloved liberal religious community, you are welcome always, just as you are. My name is Curtis Tanner. I use he, him pronouns, and I am a member of the worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is Reverend Sara Lewis, the Director of Community and Faith Development, and Troy Fisher, our music director, and some special musical guests. Here are a few things you should know about our service today. We are streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those of you here in the sanctuary, you can see the sometimes creative and always informative subtitles on the screen in front, or on Zoom if you're online. Over here, we have fluffy chairs and activities for your hands so everyone can be comfortable. We are a multi-generational community, and we value our young ones. Kids, babies, teens, all are welcome in this sanctuary. There is also nursery care and a storytime program for children in the classroom wing. We are grateful for the many hands that helped make worship happen this morning, including yours. Thank you to all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, we will have a chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Sara. For those online, we invite you to go to a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those here in person, there will be coffee and conversation and fellowship in the Commons. At 11:30, after the coffee chat, please return to the main room on Zoom or here to the sanctuary for safety training with Reverend Sara. Do you know where the first aid kits are? Do you know how to evacuate in the case of an emergency? This training is for all of us. Come, join us at 11:30. Also at 11:30 today, in a RE classroom to be determined, there will be a lunchtime gathering of young adults. Feel free to join that as well. There are many things happening at OUUC. Check out the Tuesday electronic update or the website for the most update information. Now, let us open our hearts and our minds as we prepare for worship. It is good to be together. This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. If you're online and you have a candle, please join me as we light our candles together with these words from Karen Estley. Little flame, light the tender kindling of our souls, and soon a roaring blaze shall be warmth and love and community. From this little spark, may a fire of passion spread from heart to heart and light our way, sweet Spirit, and light our way.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Sara. I use she, her pronouns. Our opening words are offered by Reverend Kimberly Ann Tomczyk Carlson. It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home. Welcome to worship. Come, let us worship together.
Let's sing together again. Hymn number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere. I invite you to rise and let's truly sing this together.
There is more love
There was great celebration the day that the old man came to live on the farm owned by his son and daughter-in-law. They had a simple but lovely meal of home-cooked vegetables and fresh-baked bread. They set up the new bed in the little room off the kitchen with a warm quilt. "I hope you'll be happy here," said the son as he carried his father's belongings in. "As long as I'm surrounded by family, I'm sure I will be well," said the father. "And I hope that there's still some help that I can do, some strength left in these old hands. I will be useful." "You're welcome to help as you like, Father," said the son, "and rest as you need." Well, the next day, the father put on his work clothes and he went out to the barn, went to feed the chickens. And there was an old wooden bowl there used to pick up the chicken feed and feed them. And he smiled to see it, for he remembered when his own father had taught his son, then a tiny boy, how to whittle and carve and to make these wooden bowls. He fed the chickens, and then he went to do some other chores. Life was good. And soon they had cause for another celebration. A new child would be coming to join the family. And the old man was pleased to be a grandfather. The baby was born. The father celebrated, the grandfathers celebrated, the mothers celebrated. They all took turns holding and caring for this new child. And the child grew, as they do, sat up, crawled, began to walk, began to run. Soon it was hard to keep up with the child. And the grandfather was delighted to be able to sit and teach the carving and whittling that once his son had learned from his father. But even as the child was growing and changing, the old man was changing too. He was getting a little slower, a little weaker. His joints were hurting more. And soon, he really couldn't lift the pitchfork anymore. And then it was hard to get out to the barn at all. And soon he mostly sat in the kitchen by the fire. Times were hard for a while, and they struggled on the farm. The son and his wife were busy all the time, and still it never seemed like they could get ahead. And one evening, as they sat down to a hastily thrown together dinner, The old man went to ladle some porridge into his bowl, and his hands were shaking so much that he dropped it, one of the few bowls the family owned, and it shattered on the ground. "How clumsy!" exclaimed the daughter-in-law. And after that day, from then on, the old man ate from the wooden chicken bowl. And then he felt unwelcome at the table after a while, and he began to just withdraw and sit in his corner of the kitchen, even at meal times. More and more, the old man spent his time alone. Then one day, the parents came across their child busily carving away at something, industriously chiseling with two sharp blades at a block of wood. "What are you making?" they asked. "Oh, I'm making you both a gift," said the child. "A gift?" they asked. "Oh, what is it?" "Oh, it's the wooden chicken bowl that you'll eat from when you're old," said the child. This brought the son up short, and he thought about the changes that had happened seemingly without him noticing. He thought of the love and care his father had provided, and he thought not of the day-by-day struggles, but of the long arc of how he too would one day be old and sit by the fire. And he went to his father and said, "I love you. I am so glad you're here with us, the gifts that you bring. Please join us at the table. Please come back to sit with us again." And thus this story reminds us to give love that is loving, to remember that all of us will need care someday, and that all of us have care to give. May it be so.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practice of generosity and gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering, together we are able to do more than any of us can do alone. We also express our gratitude for the gifts that life has given us, for the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this in our community. If you are new or visiting here for the first or second time, you are our guest, and we do not expect you to contribute. However, if you are moved to be part of the offering, what you share will be most graciously received. The offering here collected does two things. It helps support the ongoing work of this congregation, which is also supported by your regular pledges. Thank you. This offering also supports an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist beliefs. Our Share the Plate organization for January and February is the Medical Equipment Bank. The mission of the Medical Equipment Bank is to receive donated medical equipment and supplies and provide them to seniors, their families, and individuals with disabilities who otherwise could not afford to purchase these items on their own. The Equipment Bank provides support and equipment to individuals as they move toward building physical and mental strength, independence, and overall well-being so they can remain in their homes. The organization is under the umbrella of the Thurston County Council on Aging, also the publisher of the Senior News that provides over 18,000 publications a month to Thurston, Mason, and Lewis counties. The Medical Equipment Bank is completely supported by volunteers, donated equipment, supplies, grants, and cash donations. Donations are gratefully accepted as a way to pay it forward. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that makes my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul, oh my soul. Friends to me gathered round, oh my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To love and to all friends whose pain and sorrow mend, with thanks unto the end I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end I will sing, I will sing. Oh my soul, I will sing. I will sing. Oh my soul, what wondrous love is this? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. What wondrous love is this? Ooh. my soul, I will sing of this wondrous love.
Thank you for your generous gifts of music and of treasure. We came together this morning bringing all that is in our lives. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drum beat as we share today. It brings into our awareness that our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of community. Right now, I invite you to take a breath as we open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our lives and our communities today. Rosalie Melnick shares that she took a fall last week and is recovering in a rehab center. She is getting physical therapy and good care as she heals. Dawn and Rosalie recently moved into assisted living, and Rosalie hopes to soon return to their new apartment where Dawn is waiting for her. Rosalie, we send you our love and care with wishes for a smooth recovery. For those online, I invite you to share from your heart by entering into the chat. Those in the sanctuary can see your sharing on the screen. And for those in person today, I invite you to come forward if there's something you would like to bring into this community. You may place a stone into the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. Please come up through the side aisle and return by the center aisle. Let us hear the heartbeat of our community and reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. We place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. I invite you to find a position that best supports your ability to be in meditation. And let us begin by breathing together. Breathe in and out. And I invite you to bring to mind someone who has loved, nurtured, or cared for you. And just receive into your heart that feeling of being loved, of being cared for. Hold that feeling, let it warm you. And then I invite you to bring to mind someone that you love or care for, and send them that warm feeling of love from your heart to them. And then I invite you to bring to mind someone that you maybe don't know that well, but that you hope is loved and cared for. And picture this person and send them this warm feeling from your heart to them. May they be loved. May they be cared for. And then I invite you to bring to mind the whole of all of us, all people, all beings. And send out that warm feeling of love from your heart to everyone. May we all be loved. May we all be cared for. And then I invite you into a time of silence together, continuing to receive and to give that warm feeling of love.
Let's remain seated and sing together hymn number 1002, Comfort Me. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort
Today's first reading is an excerpt from an essay titled, "Please Don't Call My Job a Calling," by Simon Stoltzoff, published in the New York Times just this past June. Last month, in an interview with Warner Brothers' last month in an interview about Warner Brothers' $50 million streaming profit in the first quarter of 2023, the company's chief executive, David Zaslav, told CNBC that he believed the Writers Guild of America strike would ultimately end because of a love for the business and a love for working. As the 6th week of the strike begins, the writers' persistence reveals a sharper truth. Love, unfortunately, doesn't pay the bills. The implication that love is a suitable stand-in for job security, workplace protections, or fair pay is a commonly held belief, especially in so-called dream jobs like writing and cooking, working in the arts, or perhaps ministry, where the privilege to do the work is seen as a form of compensation itself. But that rhetoric that a job is a labor of love obfuscates the reality that a job is an economic contract. The assumption that it is not sets up conditions for exploitation.
So perhaps you've heard the saying, "Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life." There are inspirational posters with this saying. And artist Adam J. Kurtz created a version of this that crosses out the last part of that saying and replaces it with this: "Do what you love and you'll work super," expletive deleted here, "hard all the time with no separation or any sense of boundaries, and also take everything extremely personally." Ouch. Do any of us feel called out? So I thought of this because this year I took part in a conversation organized by staff at the Unitarian Universalist Association to explore the ideas raised by Simon Stoltzoff in his essay that we just heard and in his longer book titled "The Good Enough Job: Reclaiming Life from Work." The idea of a conversation about work, calling, and compensation was floated on the Facebook page for the Liberal Religious Educators Association, and the interest was so large that they had to lead many sessions with wait lists to get in to participate. It was a very enlightening conversation as we were surveyed and then shared our qualitative thoughts about our motivations and feelings around our work, our satisfaction with our work, and the stressors that lower that job satisfaction. I wasn't at all surprised to hear that others in my profession find personal satisfaction in their work, often feel appreciated, even loved for the work they do, and that the greatest stressor is just not making a living wage that is enough to support a family. And this experience, like many others I have had with people in many professions and people who volunteer their time, supports my belief that our human nature isn't nearly as self-interested and mercenary as theories of market-based capitalism would have us believe. Plenty of people will work incredibly hard for all kinds of motivations, most of which could be summarized as forms of love. Now, for much of the history of capitalism, the idea that people would only work if incentivized to do so by necessity and money was the norm. Labor and work were an economic arrangement, and labor that wasn't, because there has always been labor that isn't part of the market economy, was simply made invisible. But something has shifted, at least in developed countries like America. In the last 50 or so years, roughly the time since the publication of the best-selling book, What Color Is Your Parachute?, we as a culture have shifted from an idea of work being a strictly economic arrangement to it being a source of personal satisfaction and meaning. This time has also, coincidentally or not, coincided with declining real wages and a shift toward more of the profits of the market economy going to fewer and fewer people. Meaning, identity, mission, calling, or even just a fun workplace that offers a sense of community, all of these can help people love a job and be willing to put in long hours and great effort. Many will choose a lower paying field because they feel a sense of duty, love, passion, or calling. But even here, there are inequities to watch out for, as not everyone can afford to make that choice. And so many of these public service sectors are filled with white women from middle-class families. And it's not because people like me are the ones who want to do this work, but because it requires a level of privilege in education and a safety net. We also continue to devalue feminized professions with the assumption that women will be supported by a spouse, presumably one who makes more money than they do. By making some workers into various kinds of saints, we paradoxically honor them and devalue their work at the same time. Now, some call this the halo effect or vocational awe. In a 2018 paper, librarian Fobazi Attar coined this term, vocational awe, for the belief that workplaces and institutions like libraries are inherently good, sacred notions and beyond critique. These jobs and professions are seen as sacred callings. The paper struck a note for librarians, but also for many others in other fields. And Fobazi Attar was flooded with letters from teachers, chefs, zookeepers, nurses, and many more, all describing the particular form that vocational awe takes in their field. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, this vocational awe and the halo effect could be seen in full strength as we simultaneously lauded essential workers, demanded that they put their own health and that of their families in danger, and also continued to pay most a lower than fair wage. They were saints, after all, performing a sacred duty for love and goodness. But this strategy is spreading to more and more forms of labor, undermining workers' abilities to demand fair compensation and to make meaningful change in the structures of their work. Simon Stolzoff puts it this way in The Good Enough Job. Our society treats those who haven't found a calling, who don't love what they get paid to do, as if they've committed some kind of moral failure. The only way to do great work is to love what you do, Steve Jobs proselytizes. Life is too short not to follow your passion, reads Proverbs on Instagram and LinkedIn. However, the notion that we should always love our jobs creates outsized expectations for what a job can deliver. It ignores the tedium that exists in every line of work. It blinds us to the flaws a dream job may have, and it creates conditions in which workers are willing to accept less than they deserve.
Our second reading is The Labor of Our Days by Jennifer Willett. They created this writing for Labor Day, but it is just appropriate for every day. What images come to mind when I say Labor Day? Chances are you think of a holiday weekend and celebrations with your loved ones, the federal holiday, unions and the cause of working wage and benefits, maybe the history of the struggle of working people to have a fair share of profits from their work. Those are all great. Now, I want you to think of your parents and caregivers, the parents that fed you, bathed you, nurtured you, and taught you the building blocks of life and how to be in the world. Now think of your elders. Who shops for them, goes to the doctors with them, cleans for them, and cares for them when they begin to fail? Now think of those who have physical and mental challenges of differing degrees. They come in all ages. Who assists them in the daily tasks that make day-to-day life easier and sometimes possible at all? Much of this work is unpaid labor, yet the work of homemaking, childcare, elder care, and differently abled care isn't part of our economic system. It doesn't count towards the GDP, but our society would collapse without it. Now consider the other non-paid labor we do to mentor, to educate, to assist, to advocate, to entertain, and enrich the country, the community, and the world. Think of all that we do for our neighbors, our friends, our community to make life better. This is labor. A paycheck isn't the only measure of your work. Without this labor, our world would be a lonelier and more desperate place. Honor your labor. If you work for money, this holiday is for you. If you work for love, this holiday is still for you. Our work makes the world better. Enjoy your day.
So as our second reading says, if you work for money, it's labor. And if you work for love, it's still labor. There are so many labors of love and ways that we work to make life better for one another and the world a better place. But if it is not explicitly paid labor, these labors of love often are invisible. Now, one type of labor that has been particularly invisible until recently is called emotional labor. Rose Hackman, in her book, Emotional Labor, The Invisible Work Shaping Our Lives and How to Claim Our Power, defines emotional labor as identifying or anticipating other people's emotions, adapting yours in consequence, and then managing to positively affect other people's feelings. Now, that can often look like putting other people's feelings first. And this type of labor is something that any of us can, and I would argue sometimes should, do for each other. But too often, this is a labor that is expected from those with less power towards those with more power. This is a type of labor that many women perform, but it's also a type of labor expected from people of color toward white people, from disabled folks toward abled folks, etc. Now, other forms of care labor will follow that same pattern. While we can all perform various forms of care labor and love one another, our systems of power and hierarchy assign this work to those with less power, with women of color and immigrant women being the ultimate caregivers in our system. In her book, Essential Labor, Mothering as Social Change, Angela Garbes tells of her experience of being a Panay woman with multiracial, light-skinned children and getting taken for the hired caretaker of her own children when she's out and about. She also shares about her parents being part of the cycle of medically trained immigrants being drawn to America from the Philippines. She says, quote, "We like to tell ourselves that American women are better off, freer than other women around the world, in part because we can easily work outside the home. But we are not free or unburdened from other people. The domestic load is as heavy as ever, but if we have the means, we spread it out among multiple people. White women's reliance on the low-wage labor of women of color actually deepens racial inequities in America and around the world. Garbus describes what has been called the international transfer of caretaking, with much of the low-wage caregiver work being done by immigrant women in America. Latinx women dominate the field of household maintenance, and Filipinas comprise a large section of elder care. But we often don't think about how our caretaking needs in this country are part of the continued pattern of a flow of resources, for caregivers are a resource, from less developed nations to richer ones. And then, of course, there is care work done in families or in other situations that are completely unpaid. And this labor goes uncounted in our economic counts of well-being. But according to Oxfam, if women around the world had made minimum wage for all the unpaid hours of care work that they performed in 2019, they would have earned $10.9 trillion. And in America, they would have earned $1.5 trillion. This is not trivial labor, and our whole society would grind to a halt if it was withdrawn. Academics Raj Patel and Jason Moore put it this way in their book, A History of the World in 7 Cheap Things, a guide to capitalism, nature, and the future of the planet. They say, capitalism could not survive a day without the appropriation of human reproductive labor, conducted largely outside of the cash nexus. The global factory and the global farm each relies on a family, on a community of care. The theory of the market doesn't account for communities of care or for family care, and really it doesn't account well for any common good, such as health, beauty, or nature either. The system of market-based capitalism doesn't place love at its center. Or, as Angela Garbus puts it again in Essential Labor, care is expected to be cheap the world over, in part because the global economy doesn't have the ability to properly value care work. Conventional economic measures, concepts such as supply, demand, and markets, fall woefully short. Patel and Moore write in 7 Cheap Things, quote, if the struggles for the recognition, equal distribution, reduction, and compensation of care work are successful, it will be a hopeful sign and a shift toward valuations premised on care, not exploitation. To imagine a world of justice in care work is to imagine a world after capitalism. Okay, does that feel a bit radical, a world after capitalism? Let's take a breath. Breath and air, a free resource, a natural resource, a common good. Breathe again. Now, most of us, I think, find it a scary, radical thought to imagine a future where we might ever have to pay for the air we breathe. Now, what if care and the labors of love are just as natural, just as essential a part of human nature as the air we breathe? What if we all take care of each other because we are part of an interdependent world, part of a great mutuality of love, and no one needs to be exploited in that process? What if we leaned into the gift economy, as described by Indigenous author and botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer in her book Braiding Sweetgrass, where gifts are passed forward and the economy is built on principles of abundance and gratitude? What if we trusted love? We have examples of how this works all around us. While the pandemic was a time of danger and exploitation for some, of the halo effect gone awry, it was also an example of other ways that we all came together to take care of one another. People formed pods, they traded goods with their neighbors, took other simple actions of care and love in the face of global disaster. Caregivers and passion workers and sacred duty or essential workers needn't be exploited if they are part of an entire system built on love and care, rather than being the cushions of a system that isn't. Can we put love at the center of our economy rather than the edges? I believe we can. We humans are mostly motivated by love, are naturally loving. I believe this. I have faith in this. I'll end with this quote from Angela Garbus from Essential Labor. Meal trains, play dates, and hand-me-downs are not proper substitutes for a society that provides affordable childcare, adequate wages, and time for leisure. But these patchwork solutions are precisely how so many of us survive. We will always find ways to take care of one another. When we lean into this natural, unstoppable, and very human urge, the results are expansive. Let me repeat that. We will always find ways to take care of one another. So let's lean in to this natural, unstoppable, and very human urge, for the results are truly expansive. May it be so, and blessed be.
Let's sing together hymn number 323, Break Not the Circle. I invite you to rise.
If you are online and have a chalice or candle, please join me as we extinguish our chalice with the words of Cynthia Landrum. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues until we are together again, friends. Be strong, be well, be true, be loving.